Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 33 in our Oxygen Not Included Redux series. We are scavenging our base for steel because we don't have any and we need it. Right now I'm replacing this turbine with a lead one because temperature in here is very well controlled, so I don't need a steel one. It's fine. But I'm looking around, try to find anywhere I can get steel because I've been waiting for our eggs to produce enough eggshell and our pokeshell molts to produce enough so that we can make lime for steel, and we just don't have it. This room stays ice cold. This does not need to be a steel turbine. As much as I would like to just do it, just in case it ever overheats. If this overheats, I got more problems than whether or not this is made out of steel. And so I am scavenging up steel. Why am I scavenging steel? Because I need steel to build this. To finish it up. I have the piping run. You can see I have the super coolant running through. And it's evening out the temperatures, but I don't have enough steel to put in a aqua tuner or my automation. This needs to be steel. It's going to be inside of a steam room. So I'm trying to find stuff that I have used steel where I didn't need to use steel. And these liquid pumps are definitely ones where I could probably get away with not using steel. Especially because I'm going to be cooling, hopefully cooling this water down. So let's see. Let's do one of these at a time. The other thing I'm needing steel for is to finish up our rocket system here. Looks like we actually finished that now that I've scavenged enough. So we need that power so that we can get this full. This we want to enable now. We're done building everything. I just want this to be set up so that only one person can come in. I think I may need to work on this a little bit more to change it. Not positive. I'm concerned that because I just gotta mess with it. I gotta test it. And since I didn't have enough power to get the suit filled with oxygen, we couldn't really do much testing with it. So now it's running. Oxygen is going in to fill the dock up. I got power going. I do not have power coming from an external source, but I do have power coming from these solar panels, which is enough to keep it going for now. So this is all done up here. These are all ready. These rockets are fueling back up. You can see some of these are still empty because I just brought them back. Our star map, we are really starting to finish it up. We have a section over here to finish. We have this corner. We have this side. But we have almost the entire galaxy mapped out. So once we get the rockets refueled and we send it back out again, I'm going to send one up here, and then he's going to come down this way and get most of this. And then this guy is going to come down here, go up here, come up here, and come back. That's how we've been doing, slowly eliminating all of the spots. So let's see. Now I have 3 tons of steel. Or 3,000 kilograms. That's a ton and a half. Down here, this is what we were working on. So now I need to put in utilities, aqua tuner, made of steel. And it's got to go this direction. And then I need to put in plumbing. I need a liquid pipe thermosensor. Now this, I can probably get away with gold because it's going to be outside on this one. I'm going to put it right here. I need an automation wire to go from here to here. And then I need a steel one to go from here to here. So that's good. We need a power wire. So the only part that needs to be steel is this section And then I can use anything else to do this section. So that'll be done. I don't want to connect it quite yet, though. I am getting all of the oxygen pumped out of this room. And then once we're done, we will get hydrogen pumped in here for the coolant in here. So the next thing I need to do is plumbing, liquid vent. I need steel vents on these. Okay, so once I finish all of this, I can seal this bottom room up. Over here, I just need to then get all the oxygen out and I can seal the top. This is, you can see, is slowly getting pulled out. Oh, hold on. I gotta do gas. This is just pumping it out. Then I'm gonna remove the gas pump and I'll remove the vent, and then I will use this pipe to put hydrogen back in the room. But I want to wait to put hydrogen back in until this gets sealed with a vacuum. Cool. Okay, so let's set this all to 7. Get that finished. And now that I have enough steel to get it done, I'm going to get this whole place built up. We'll get some power stuff put in here and get everything connected. And then we will get this running so we can start cooling down our water. Finishing up the last little pieces here, but we have one steam turbine running. Don't have quite enough steel to build a second one. So actually, I'm doing the same mistake I did before. I don't need these made out of steel because this room is going to be cold. Cold, cold, cold. This needs to be steel and that stuff needs to be steel. None of this needs to be steel. It's all fine. Just have it. When you have tons of steel, you just build everything that might ever have temperature out of steel. I don't need everything made out of steel. So anyway, I'm finishing up sealing up this room. I got the hydrogen in here. I'm gonna actually cut this off now because I don't need more than that. So let's cut it there. We'll let that drain out. We'll remove this. And then once this is finished, I'll put a block here, remove this. And then this will be ready to run. I need to put that steam turbine back in. But I can make it out of gold. Because I can be at least a little fancy. And let's get those running now, sooner rather than later, so that we can get this all finished up. If we check our temperatures, and we go, oops, I'm hitting the wrong keys. Check our temperatures, you can see we're already making a dent in this water. I have this set at 20 degrees, I think. And you can see this water was 42 degrees. Around it, we're already down to 33. I may need to run a pipe that goes over farther, or I may just need to give it time. We'll see how well it handles transferring that heat through the water. We could always go down a little colder because, you know, the water can go down colder than that and then it'll distribute. But in fullness of time, that should cool this entire tank down. And since all of this water is used for things throughout the build, we can expect to see the whole base cool down because of that. Because if this water is colder, everything else will cool down too, in theory. Okay, we've gotten this whole thing built. Steam turbines are in place. Steam's getting produced. We've sealed it up. We're removing this. Everything's working great. This is doing its job. It's cooling things down. But I decided, you know, it'll go much faster if we run a radiator all the way down here. So I made some radiant liquid pipe that goes all the way to here, and it should allow us to cool this water down all the way over to here. And it will work its way around. I'm not going to worry about running pipe into here because this is already a mess. But it should be good. Let's put our liquid pump. We're going to use iron. One there. We took that off because that was steel. eventually we'll probably remove all of these so that they're not steel, but we're just going to do the one to see how it works as iron. Should be fine because this temperature should be cooling down, not heating up. So we'll let that do its thing. And then we'll come back and see the temperatures. The next thing I wanted to check in on is our project down here, getting the sour gas out of here so we can reactivate this boiler. We are down to micrograms on this side, almost completely out. Over here, we're still up in the high micrograms. And then if we look, they're still, well, this is in the micrograms too. So we're slowly working our way down. This is the farthest one from the pumps. It looks closer, but this, to empty this, I have to pull all the gas around here, up through here to this spot. So this spot right here is the farthest from those gas pumps. And it shouldn't take too long to get it down. You can see how the micrograms are going down slowly. So we're almost there for that. Once that's done, what we'll have to do is we'll have to come in through here, break a couple of tiles, repair this pump, seal it back up, and then once this temperature is back to normal and we have everything going, or I mean, not temperature, but the gases are back to normal where this should all be vacuums, then we can start pumping our oil back in. And it should all work out great, but we got to get all this sour gas out of here beforehand. Speaking of sour gas, the sour gas is getting pumped into this storeroom here. You can see how it's still a vacuum. It's such a small amount that if you look over here, it's getting pumped up to fill this output pipe. That's all going through here, and it's getting to here. And I've yet to fill this one tile with sour gas. So that's how small an amount of sour gas was in there and how much of a problem it caused. We do need to get it to go through here to get it all cleaned up and pumped through. We're back getting some backup here, but it's such a small amount of sour gas and it causes such a large problem. While we're waiting for all those projects to get finished up, I am doing some more things inside of our rocket. And I realized that the problem I had with this is I think I had this atmosphere dock set incorrectly. This should be set to clearance always. So let's undock this suit. So the idea should be is that since it's set to vacancy only, a duplicate should be able to come in here now because there's a spot for them to put their suit. Why is this building disabled? We need to enable it now. So a duplicate, once we enable it, duplicate should be able to come in because there's a space for their suit. And then once they leave, they'll take a suit and somebody else can come in. But that should make it so nobody else comes in. The way I had it set before, I had this enabled, but I had it set to always. What would happen is all of our duplicates would come in, they would drop their suits here on the floor, and then they wouldn't leave unless there was a suit here, and nothing ever got delivered. So I had a little party going on here. They almost all starved to death. So, need this to get turned on. Whose job is that? Buchanan. So once Buchanan comes up here and turns this on, we'll watch it closely to see what happens. So he's enabling it. Let's set this sweet priority 9 so that somebody will have to come in here to grab this. So if this is set up the way I think it is, what we should see is somebody will come in here to grab this. They will drop off their suit in this dock, which means they're in here, which means nobody else can come in. And when they leave, they'll grab the suit. And then that means the next person can come in, which means we'll only ever have one person in here, which is fine for the purposes of this suit. It means it's going to take a little longer for things to get stocked, which will be okay. But it will mean I won't have more than one person in here. And when I use this rocket to go to another planetoid, it'll work exactly how I want. So hopefully that works. So right now, nobody else should be allowed to come in here because this is set to vacancy only, and there is no vacancy. There's a suit here that's full. So he grabs a suit. Now somebody else could come in to grab something else. All this stuff here that they're trying to grab, they should be able to grab without actually coming into the rocket. They just stand on this tile. I'm not particularly surprised because I've built these systems many times now, but this is working great. The steam turbine is keeping up. The two steam turbines are keeping up. They are not reaching the point where they have too much in them so that they're continuing to process the steam. We're deleting plenty of heat. If we look at the temperatures in this tank, they are slowly going down. I think I'm actually going to set this down to 15 for now because I want it to keep going. We are building an extension on our radiator to come over here, but that's going to take some time. You can see it's partly done. Eventually we'll connect that up and it will cool the whole water tank, but it's working great, doing its job. If we look at the contents going through, this tank has 31 degrees super coolant. Comes down here, sets off the aqua tuner, so it's coming out at 17. As it comes up here, it's still maintaining at 17. It goes through this loop, picks up heat pretty quick. When it comes through here, it's back up to 29.7. Then it comes down here, still at 29.7. It picks up all the heat from these steam turbines, and then it's back up to the 31. So that's why this tank is staying at 31, even though it's coming out at 17. Eventually that'll equalize. And this will slowly go down in temperature. And what the temperature in here is what the temperature will be in here. So eventually we'll set this to match this, but it's going to take some time because this tank full of water at some points is all the way up in the 50s. And that was where we were running into problems. This water is used for everything in our base. And so it's run through pipes that go everywhere, and those pipes were causing things to heat up. So now, if we can get this whole water tank cooled down, we can actually use this water and the pipes that are running through it to cool down sections of our base. We can't use it as much as actual cooling systems because water is not the best coolant to use, because if it heats above 100, it'll boil, and if it goes below 0, it'll freeze. But for small stuff, we can do some manipulation with it, which is pretty cool. We're still doing more work up on the rocket bay. We're going to work on that a little bit in the next one, but I'm almost ready to be able to launch this rocket. I just want to get a couple more little things done with it, and then we will know. Is there anything stored in this rocket? No. Good. Then we will know for sure this is ready to launch. It's set with a drill cone. It has a large cargo bay, so we can send it out to do a mining mission. As a matter of fact, let's check inside. We may have just enough stuff done in here so that we can launch this. I would like to get these Atmos suits out of here first. But then once they're all picked up, taken back, then we can go, because we have food, we have oxygen in here, we have water for our bathroom in here, we have the radiation pills. This is currently set to Lincoln. I gave him the skills he needs to pilot the rocket. So once all this stuff gets picked up, let's check him out. What's your navigation look like? Okay, good. So you're all right. You're standing there. Just wanted to make sure you can actually get in. He seems to be acting kind of weird there. Looks okay. But I think it's going to work. We're going to do a long test where we send him out, and then what we want to see is he comes in, he puts his suit down without us telling him to, while we set the rocket to get ready to launch. Then when he leaves the rocket, when we land it, he puts his suit on, and we don't have to worry about him getting scalded, because the reason he's having problems right now is because he left the rocket without a suit on, because I forgot to give it to him, and he got scalded by the exhaust. That'll be more important once we use this design on the rockets that are going to land on the other planetoids, because they won't have atmosphere at all that he can handle. So we need them to be able to come back in here, live inside their rocket on the other planetoids until we can get a base established. But for now, that's going to end it for today. Let's go back out and just look at our water tank and see what the temperatures are at now. Oh yeah, they're doing great. They're spreading out very, very evenly. And pretty soon this water will be exactly where we want it. So I hope you enjoyed watching the episode, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.